Thank you, Deputy Presiding Officer. It's been an interesting couple of days passing this bill through its various stages, and I'd like to start by putting on record my thanks to the Parliament staff, especially the Bill team and the clerks, for their work under extreme time pressure. This is legislation that is badly needed in Scotland. I don't think it's necessarily as comprehensive as it could have been, and I do think that more could be done to redress the imbalance of power that exists between tenants and landlords. We may have been able to get it to that point if we hadn't been as constrained in our time to scrutinise and debate, but we are where we are. And we are where we are today because of a number of people. I don't think any of this could have been possible without my friend and colleague Mercedes Villalba, who can't be here, unfortunately, due to illness, but anyone who knows her will know that she is a fierce and tenacious advocate for the rights of tenants across Scotland, and I'm immensely proud of her work on pushing the government on this need for a rent freeze over the last 6 months. And I also want to thank our frontbench spokesman, Mark Griffin, and his team for their tireless work on improving the bill since it was published. Happy to give way.
Cabinet Secretary.
Just to put on the record our recognition of Mercedes Villalba's contribution to this debate, and that I hope she gets better soon and that she's been watching the proceedings and can take some comfort from the role that she played.
Paul Sweeney.
I thank the Cabinet Secretary for that recognition. It's much appreciated. I'm sure, despite the frustration Mercedes is no doubt feeling, I'm sure she's heartened by the progress that this bill has made in the last few days. And I think we also wouldn't be here without the campaigning of the Live and Rent organisation, who have been organising and building power for tenants for years, and for that I pay tribute to them. I'm sure that is shared across the chamber. Deputy Presiding Officer, the Government chose to accept the 2 amendments that I tabled yesterday, for which I am thankful. Sadly, they chose not to engage as positively with other amendments laid by colleagues, and that is unfortunate. And I think, on reflection, the Government may regret not accepting the amendments in the name of Alec Rowley and Pauline McNeill. I thought they were non-contentious, and I'm still unsure what legitimate reason there could be for excluding care home residents in this legislation and for ensuring that intertenancy rent increases were not possible. So in the time I do have left, I want to make a more general point about the situation facing tenants and indeed homeowners this winter, meaning that this bill is more necessary than ever. Yesterday, we were forced to sit and listen while Conservative members claimed that the crisis we were facing somehow had nothing to do with the actions of their colleagues running the UK Government. That somehow the increase in mortgage costs or the plummeting value of the pound was nothing to do with them. Indeed, according to their members here, it was a pure coincidence that the pound tanked at the exact same time as the Chancellor delivered his so-called mini-budget. I'm afraid I've never heard such disingenuous drivel in all my life. The reality of the situation is that millions of British tenants and homeowners face a cost of living crisis with higher bills, higher mortgage payments and higher inflation because of their selfish political choice to give tax cuts to their wealthy donors and recklessly gambled with the future of the entire British economy. And rather than putting more money into the pockets of those who need it the most, they tried and failed to give it to millionaires before being shamed into a U-turn. And astoundingly, we have heard more yesterday from their benches about the plight of landlords in this country than we did about hardship facing tenants. I'm afraid the game is up, Deputy Presiding Officer. The public see the Tories for exactly what they are, a party in it for themselves. I thoroughly look forward to the next general election when they are unceremoniously ejected from Downing Street.